Oh yes, I have an incredible video for you today. I'm going to share with you a technique, and if you do this, it is going to change your life. I'm not joking, I'm not kidding, I'm not exaggerating. I can say this with so much confidence. Today, in this video, I am going to share with you the single most powerful breathing technique I have ever experienced, I've ever encountered in my life. Not sheerly in terms of just how much of an impact it can have in changing how you feel and putting you in a state, a powerful, switched on, energized state, but also in just how easy it is, how straightforward it is, and how portable this technique is. It's something you can do anywhere. It takes a couple of minutes and will completely change who you are. Again, I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating. This technique is called the Bellows breath, or drawing from the yogic roots that it derives from, there we call it Bhastrika. The technique, in this video, I'm going to break it down. I'm going to share with you all of the different things that you need to do to be absolutely nailing it. And then very likely my plan is to make another video tomorrow where I'll be sharing something that you can do along with me so that you can do this technique again and again and again with a guided tool to keep your pace up and to do it with you, because I know that helps me very much when I do other breathing practices. So, the technique, Bellows breath. The idea of this, are you familiar with a bellows? Do you know what a bellows is? When you have a fire, you pump, it's that thing that's like this shaped, and you grab the ends and you pump it and it pushes air through. That's the name of the technique, and it is a similar thing that we're going to do there. We are going to be pumping our arms in order to pump air in and out of our lungs very rapidly and very quickly. We are going to hyper-oxygenate your bloodstream, and that's going to make you feel switched on, yet grounded, energized and alert, but not in some manic, frantic way. I should say at this point, before going any further, I would not recommend that you do this if you have any heart problems or any respiratory concerns. At the end of the day, I don't know the full data on what happens if you do this technique if you have such concerns, but it has always been my practice to just make sure people don't if there's anything that they're unsure about with their cardiovascular health, because it's a pretty powerful technique. Bellows breath. First I'll explain how it works in the theory. Now, most people are aware, obviously, that our arms are attached to our chest. But no one really thinks about how our chest is attached to our arms. That might seem stupid, but what that means is that if we move our arms around, it's going to move and expand our ribcage. And so try this now if you can. I'm going to put your arms by your side, and it doesn't matter if you have if you make fists, so you have your hands open. What I'm going to ask you to do is raise your hands over your head, and I'm not out in front too much. I'm pretty much pulling them back quite a lot, and that pushes my chest out a little bit. Basically just having them at a 90-degree angle to my front. So from here, raising your arms up all the way, and you'll find most likely that as you lift your arms, you get right to the end and you're going to just inhale some air automatically. It won't feel particularly conscious. You'll just, as you lift up your arms, part of your body will want to breathe in, or air will just start to come into you. And then the other part of this is if your hands are up overhead, the next part of the technique, and don't do it just yet, I'll explain some specifics before you do it, but the next thing that we do is that we're going to pull our arms in to the side. That's to the side, it's not out in front. That's particularly important if you are, if you have breasts, because we are going to be doing this movement fairly vigorously, and we want to make sure that we're in the habit of putting our arms out to the side. We do not want to be slamming down in front of some potentially sensitive areas. So trying this again, just lifting your arms up with fists or hands open, lifting up all the way. You'll probably feel this sensation of inhaling and then just dropping them down to the side. You'll probably feel some air coming out fairly naturally. Now to take this to the next level, what we're going to be doing, we're going to get our triceps, this inner part of our arm, and it's actually going to make contact. It's going to hit. And so what we'll do, we'll lift our arms up overhead. That will expand our lungs as we raise our arms. It's going to pull my shirt back a bit more. It's going to make my rib cage expand outward as my arms lift up. It pulls it out, and then as I bring my arms down into the side of my chest, it's going to hit and squeeze and squish all the air out. And this is where the bellows, the action from the bellows comes from. We inhale, it pulls air in. We exhale with the arms coming down, and it squishes the air out. That's what we do with our arms. What we're going to be doing is, ideally, if you can, breathing in and out through your nostrils. Not everyone can do this particularly easily. If you can, that's even better. What we're going to do, in and out through the nose, it's going to be a bit intense. Now, a very important thing here, the more that you give, the more that you'll get. That applies everywhere in life. It applies equally here in this exercise. The harder you push yourself to just consume and put oxygen into your body, the better you're going to feel. And if you half-ass it, you're not going to get as much of an effect as if you go and really send it. And we'll get more into the details soon. But I promise you, if you do this hard and properly, it will be worth it. It will feel so very good. What else have we got? Inhaling in and out through your nose. If you can't, you can of course go through your mouth. If you need to blow through your mouth, do it through thinly pursed lips, as if you're blowing through a straw. That's the technique. But again, ideally, nose is best. Now you can probably hear, even as I'm inhaling without doing the arms, I'm inhaling with an intensity. I'm going, I'm sending it. And we're going to combine that with the arm motion, so that while we raise our arms to pull with that mechanical lens, pulling as much air in through our nostrils and into our lungs by raising the arms and exhaling and shooting it out, while also consciously breathing strong, firm exhales, really combining every single element that we can to just maximize the intensity of every single breath. So we've done the technique, we've done the intensity, we've done some mindset, as in the more you give, the more you get. Breathing through the nostrils if possible. What we're going to look at now is the pace. Don't do this just yet. Watch how I do it. You might want to do 1 or 2 demos, but don't try and keep pace with me. The important thing about this is I want you to see that it's much faster than you might think. Generally, when I teach this, the very first breath I do very, very slowly, and that's because I want to familiarize myself, and especially when I teach a client this, I want to get them taking their time to breathe in as much as they can on that first breath. But from the second breath onwards, the pace is way faster than you will expect. So I'm going to do probably 5 breaths now, just to give you a sense of it. My face is going to make some pretty contorted, potentially shapes. That's me sending it, and it's me feeling really good as a result. First breath, really, really slow. Breathing fully and deeply all the way in. Inhale as the arms come up. That's just 5. Slow and then fast, hitting it hard. Yeah, I probably looked a little funky. Now, if you're doing this through your nose and you haven't already, and you want to try this very, very seriously, You'll probably want to get a tissue and blow your nose, perhaps, because some snot is going to fly out, and maybe you don't care, because why should you? You're a human being, you have mucus in your nose, it's not really a problem, and there's no reason to necessarily be ashamed of that. Now, more or less, that is the technique. I've gone into a lot of detail because the more that you do this, the more you give, the more you get, and I want you to have all of the aspects of this technique because it can be very powerful. In a moment rather, I will get into this. First of all, when should you be doing this? Whenever you need a boost, whenever you need a kick, more energy, more momentum. Maybe you need it to start your day. You get out of bed, you're all asleep, you're all groggy. Where am I? What's going on? I just woke up. Let's attack the day. Very effective technique to start your day. Or anytime, maybe you have a big presentation or a sports performance or something that you need to excel at, take a few moments, put yourself in a quiet room, a separate room rather, amp yourself up and get into it. Now that we've established every single aspect of the technique, I will show you how it is done. I will show you how to do it. We're going to do 30 rounds, then we're going to take a pause, and then we're going to do 30 rounds again. We'll only do this 2 times today. You may find that you could and would benefit more from doing 3 rounds in total. Today we'll just do 2. It's going to be enough to give you a taste and give you a sense of the technique. Now, what else do you need to know? As you do this, your arms are very I mentioned heart and cardiovascular stuff. If you have some shoulder injuries, I should have said this earlier, be aware, just manage your own body accordingly. Because there are other aspects of this, like where I'm about to take us, where I'll encourage you to not listen to some signals that you might receive from your body. But if you have legitimate, actual, real, known injuries, that's a very different story, and of course do what's right for you. But if you don't, then here's what's going to happen. As you do this technique, and as you do this with an intensity and at the fast pace that I will show you, your arms are going to say things to you like, hey, this is hard, oh, we want to stop, and don't listen to them. It's not difficult, they can do this. They're not even moving any actual weights. They get particularly fatigued because of the hyperoxygenation process. It affects the metabolism and how they perceive how they're using their energy. But your arms can do it. I'm telling you, it's not as hard as they might tell you that it is. That's got to be everything that I could possibly think of to tell you about this technique. So let's get into it. Arms to the side, hands open or in fists, whatever feels comfortable and right for you. We're going to go straight into 30 breaths, pause, and 30 breaths again. You don't need to count. I'll be counting. Do not forget. Go as hard as you can. As you inhale, as you raise your arms, consciously sucking in as much air as possible. Really sending it. Inhale as the arms come up. That's 30 breaths. Close the eyes, let go of the arms. Normal breathing in and out through the nose. Keeping the eyes closed, feeling that energy moving, feeling that energy become activated. Okay, not too long here. We're about to go again. Opening the eyes, watching me, moving same time as me. Inhale as the arms come up. 30 rounds, let's go. Dirty breaths, close the eyes, relax the arms, return to normal breathing. You may feel the desire to yawn, that's very, very normal. Just noticing what feels different, noticing any sensations inside yourself. Any sensations of alertness, any sensations of focus. And hopefully feeling a sense of being pretty alive. Breathing into that. If this feels good for you, in particular if this took you from a place of how you were feeling before, which wasn't so great, and now you feel so much better by comparison, notice this. Notice how good this feels. Realize that you did this. You can access this anytime. Took a few minutes of breathing hard. Notice how different you feel. You can do this every day. You can do this multiple times a day. This is always available to you. An extremely powerful technique. Enjoy. You may want to include this in your morning routine. Wake up, get out of bed, smash out a few rounds of Bhastrika, the Bellows breath. You won't know yourself if you start your day like that every day for a week or 2 weeks. The change is staggering. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being patient as I go through this so thoroughly. I will upload another video, which if I actually ever work out how to do this, which I haven't looked into, we'll have a link to somewhere on the screen now, perhaps. More likely, I might just put it in the comment in the description so that you can have a link to something else that you can follow along with, that you can just do 30 rounds of 3 times. For yourself, moving forward, doing 2 to 3 rounds of this technique with a brief pause in between is enough to completely change your day, completely change who you are, and therefore completely change the rest of your life from that point onwards. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience and persistence and commitment to yourself and really, really, really learning this technique. If you liked this video, if you'd like to see more videos from me, I make a new video every single day. So if you want to see what I post tomorrow, what I talk about tomorrow, well, tomorrow you know it'll be the update to the follow-up from this. But if you'd like to see what I talk about the day after that, hit subscribe, because I'll be giving you as much value as I possibly can, giving as much to you that I believe will help you. Chuck in the comments anything that you learned, anything that you experienced, or even how you're feeling right now as a result of these techniques, and how you may use it moving forward in your life. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts. I hope this has helped you immensely and you feel very powerful in this moment. Thank you for your time. I'll see you in the next.